Welcome to Corn Coast Conversations. I am your host, the illest in Nebraska, HAKIM. I'm here to bring you all content from all angles of life as a father, recording artist, entrepreneur, and business owner. I'm here to spark conversations on various topics from politics, conspiracies, music, culture, and current events. So join me on this journey through the lens of my human experience from right here in the Corn Coast. I'm excited to have you all along for the marathon. All right, man. Episode number 6. Who do I have the pleasure of sitting in front of? Go ahead and let them know who you are, bro.
My name is FLANNEL.
Yo.
Rapper, producer, artist from Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yep. Flannel is one of the greatest to ever do it. I tell him this shit all the time, so he probably tired of hearing it, but Flannel is, as a artist myself, Flannel is easily a top. It's crazy to say, like, I'm talking about in a culmination of all rappers, like, I would legitly put him in a top 10. No exaggeration. I'm talking with the codes. I would put, I could easily say, like, Flannel has a spot in a top 10er, like, list. Flannel's phenomenal. The way he writes, the way he articulates, the emotion that he's able to pour into songs. And not only that, from a producer standpoint, there's no other production I enjoy getting on the most than a Flannel Lewis beat. Flannel is, he really don't need no introduction, but I'm going to give him one because he deserves that. Flannel is a GOAT. He's a legend in the Corn Coast. He's stamped.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, nah, for sure, bro.
Thank you. That's some, I hold you at a very high standard as well.
Definitely,
so
bro.
Anytime you say something, I always am like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For sure. Before we get into questions, bro, let's talk about House 95.
Okay.
Let's talk about House 95. Let the people know what House 95 is for those that don't know.
House 95 is a project that I put out in March 19th of this year.
Yeah.
It's just the first album I've done in probably a few years, like solo anyway. Obviously, we do all this stuff with Quiet, things like that. But yeah, first solo album in a while. So,
what was the process making it, and how long did it take for you to make that project?
Oh man, I feel like I was like in the mindset of wanting to make an album. I was like, I want to make a project, and also I think this would have been. I don't know. There were a bunch of albums that came out, and I was like, just get me hyped. I make an album. And then it was like, I think there were like 2 songs. Yeah, Cons and Foyer, whatever. Yeah. Were just like tracks I made like a couple years prior.
Yeah.
And I never really released them. I made that video for Foyer, and then...
Did you know that you was going to place them on House 95, or they was just...
Yeah, originally they were just tracks. I know, like, for Foyer, too, that one specifically was just like I like try to make content on social media. I really try.
You see it, bro?
Yeah, I try. And that was like one I had made right when I moved into the house that I live in right now, which would have been like 3 years ago. Yeah. And it was right when I got my first studio set up, whatever, and I just like wrote bars to this beat I made and whatever. And then I was just like, wow, I really like the song. Made the video. But then, I don't know. I was writing Don't Wait on Me. And that song, it was like, beat was done, whatever. And I was like going through some shit, whatever. Yeah. That song's sad, whatever. Yeah. And that came out in like 30 minutes. It was just one swoop, done, whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, all right. Like, I need to,
that's one of those diamonds.
It was one of those things where I was like, okay, I think I probably should like finish this. So I finished that up, and I loved how it was. And I was like, okay, this sounds great. I was like, I have 3 like full songs finished. I was like, I'm just gonna make an album. Yeah. And then it was kind of just like, okay, we're just gonna make it.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that because from an artist, when you make those songs like Don't Wait on Me, and you realize those are like diamonds, and I always say they're diamond songs in the sense of like you got to be mining in life to strike upon a gold mine or a diamond. Like those diamonds of a track don't come from just like thin air. It takes experience. It takes some life. It takes some tribulations. It takes some shit to happen for you to stumble upon or create one of those diamonds of the records. And when you make one, it's funny that you said it. It's just like it's too good to just like release as a single. Like it deserves a proper like placement somewhere.
Right.
Yeah. And you just know that.
No, I agree. I feel like it kind of sucks because the way music is taken in nowadays. Like if I have a song and it's track 7 out of 10 tracks, like, and I love track 7, there's a good chance that like 25 to 30% of my listeners aren't gonna make it to track 7 because like if 1 and 2 don't fuck with them, and they get to 3 and they don't fuck with it, like whatever.
3's probably the make or break.
Right. Yeah. So like that kind of sucks, but at the same time, I feel like I've gotten to a point where I'm like, I don't really care. It's just I just don't. That's why like there are certain things I feel like in my music where it's like, why are you doing that? That's not what's. I try my best not to do trendy shit. And try my best not to just like fall into certain things. That sounds kind of like high horse type shit. I'm not trying to say like I don't follow the trends. I just don't want to make a trap beat like everybody else. I don't want to make a regular triplet rap song.
Right.
Like
and it's funny that you mentioned that because I feel like my ascension as an artist started and happened when I fully came to terms with that I'm about to just put out the shit that I really do enjoy making, and I'm not chasing certain records or certain sounds. And I'm like,
shit, everybody said, every interview I've ever heard of any artist is like, what? How do you get there? Blah. Love your shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Make what you really like, and you'll get there. It's like, all right, bet. So.
Most definitely. So funny. So I wanted to actually go in depth to some of my favorite songs from House 95.
Okay.
So let's just start with Don't Wait on Me. Let's talk about some of them. I have quotes that I wanted to start with, but Don't Wait on Me, I wanted to start with just the message of the uncomfortability one may experience in a vessel. And the vulnerability behind creating that song. And was it from a stance of therapy? And so you touched a little bit on how the song came about, but tell us like what that song meant for you, and also what it meant for you taking it outside, taking it from a dimension that's not physical and actually jotting it down and putting it to this physical realm and then putting it on some wavelengths.
Man, any song I feel like that I've written that comes from any point of like trauma, or I don't know if that's really the word I'd use. Point of any low point, because I don't really feel like something has to come from trauma for it to still have a meaning, you know, have a feeling. But like with that one, you know, I'm fucking skinny, bro. Like I got some food issues, like whatever. It's cool. I feel like for me, when I was like writing that song, I don't really know if it came across in my head as like, oh, this is like cathartic and therapeutic in a way. But when I got done listening to it, like afterwards, finished up listening to it, it's like, holy shit. Like, especially because I guess for me, you know, where we're from Nebraska.
Right.
You know, food and things like that are just like super important. In a lot of places here is one of them, you know. And especially like for guys, I don't really feel like it's something that, I don't know. You just don't hear a lot of dudes be like, I have a hard time eating sometimes. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Whatever.
Definitely.
And I remember sending, like, I got it done. I was listening to it. I was like, wow. And I sent it to my buddy Jer. Shout out Jer.
Shout out Jer, man.
And I was like, hey, like, honest opinion, I haven't even showed my fiance this yet. Like, I really would love some feedback on what you think about this. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to put it out. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna. And this was at a moment when I was like, ooh, it felt really good to do that. Oh my God. But I don't need to show anybody this. This for me, I don't need to show anybody. And I got that feeling. I was like, I just want to show Jer. So I showed Jer. And he was like, dude, like he's like, this is the type of shit where it's like when you can be vulnerable and then just like release it like that, like you can. There's even if it's one person that is like, well, me too.
Yeah,
like, I also feel that way. Like that's what it's about. That's important. That's why you need to do it. And I was like, shit, okay.
Yeah.
So,
and I think the beautiful thing and the reason why I fuck with you so heavy is because you represent the Corn Coast. You represent Nebraska. And one thing I've said, and it was a struggle of mine earlier on, it was like being a rap artist. Typically, rap artists have a very cool background that is kind of, either whether it's making about the hood or just have this crazy story. But we have, until I came to a realization that we are a very unique, like, breed of an artist. We're different, bro. We're in the dead center of the middle of the map of the United States of America, where we get influenced by every East Coast, West Coast, down south. We get influenced by every culture. By the time it makes it here, it's like a game of telephone.
Yeah.
By the time styles make it and sounds make it to Nebraska, they are just, by the time we get it, we get something. Obviously, we get something, and there's a point of being behind on style and culture and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the beauty in it is by the time it gets to us, it has shaped, morphed into such a different element. And then once we get that, we start with something that's already unique. And then we add our unique circumstances onto that. And
I agree.
Yeah. Art, like, if you listen to Flannel, you listen to me. You listen to artists like Monty Alcanaz, the Sleep Sinatras, the Eddie Branches. There's many different artists, and I apologize if I'm missing some people out, but like, yeah, you don't hear artists that sound like this. I can't really explain. It's not tooting our own horn or nothing like that. It's just we have a very unique sound. We have a very unique sound.
Anybody who talks to me after shows usually says the same thing, and I agree. I'm not trying to toot my own horn either. It's just like, I mean, shit. This is so corny. I say it in one of my songs though, where I'm like, I can't even remember the exact quote, but it's like, am I really good at this shit, or is it just because everybody around me is saying I'm so good at this shit that I think that I'm good at this shit? And I don't like. That's where that comes from. I don't know. I just kind of am like linking those two thoughts together.
Yeah, it's funny because I think I almost wrote that quote down, and I think it was either in The Difference or Plot. I can't remember it, but I know the damn quote because I was listening to the shit again. Last night. Yeah. So yeah, I'm the same way, bro. Like, I don't know what it is when people like, if you were to ask me to like quote a lyric on spot, I will go like,
I know,
brain dead. Like,
unless it's like, I mean,
it's like I have to start the song from the start in my head. I can't just jump to a certain part or like lyric in my song.
Oh, in your own songs? No,
yeah,
way,
in my own song. Like I had to start from the beginning, and like even then I'm like, how did I start that shit? And then I like have to rap all the way up until that quote, and then it's like, oh, there it is.
Saying my ABCs, like for some reason.
Yeah,
I don't do that now. But like back in the day, like when I'm a kid, like I don't know what comes next. I have to start all the way up.
You just can't start at like G. It's gonna fuck you up. Like you gotta start like literally. I'm thinking about it. I gotta be like E F G H. There it is. Yeah,
exactly.
But no. So Don't Wait on Me, very heavy track. It was a very beautiful thing to see a man talk about his feelings and the shit that he's going through in his personal life. And like you said, you don't hear that too often in this space, let alone rap.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not from a place of toxic masculinity, but it's just like
people don't seem interested in that until it's like too late, and then everybody's interested in it.
Rest in peace.
That sounds super rude to say, but
no, 100%, man. Like it's one of those things that people don't really care until you're dead.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, I knew he was going through something, but whoop-de-whoop. Right. But not even to get off into the weeds on the
Right.
Y'all get the point. Don't Wait on Me. Y'all definitely need to check that track out on House 95. All right, back up to the list. We're gonna start. I'm gonna list. Let's see. I got. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 out of. I can't remember how many songs we had on that project.
11.
Yeah, 6 out of 11. Yeah, it was 11, 12. Yep. But yeah. Let's start with the opening.
Okay.
Literally the intro is called Opening, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's the intro. Never sitting still, and if I am, I inch closer. Bet the people around me miss me when I wasn't focused and always open, float boats to get noticed. Yeah, just House 95 and just Flannel. One thing that Flannel is like extremely good at that a lot of rappers or just artists can't really like sharpen or hone is like mastering one-liners that really stick with you. Like
I worked on it hard, bro.
Yeah, bro. So like,
I worked on it
like
hard.
front door open, like, bro. Like it's just like I can just keep on repeating that. Like it's the way, it's the nuances, the way you say things. It's just again as a rapper, bro. That I would like to think I do this shit really well. I see that in others. So like, yeah, never sitting still, and if I am, I inch closer. Yeah, go break that lyric down and then also break that bet the people around me miss me when I wasn't focused and always open, float boats to get noticed.
Never sitting still, and if I am, I inch closer. I don't sit still.
Yeah.
Like that's very like straight up, and I feel
Yeah.
like that's super cliche to say nowadays because everybody's got ADD and
Right.
shit. But like
Yeah.
for real, I like you can ask Britt. Like it's a thing where like I'm just like constantly moving, whatever. And I also have this feeling where it's like even when like whether it's in a creative aspect or whatever, anytime I feel like I've been told like maybe I should slow down a bit,
Yeah.
just because like I'm not gonna lie, it's like I wake up, I start making music at about 7 or 7:30
Yeah.
until about 8:30, and then I go to work, and then I get home and I do art stuff, and then I do more music stuff, and, like, more stuff. You know, I just like I can't help myself. I just like have to do something.
Yeah.
So that's that part is like just and I feel like you can use it as like a double entendre when people are like, oh, he's not going anywhere. It's like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
whatever. I make big moves, but like you don't need to see every.
It's a turtle race.
Yeah.
It's a
You don't
turtle
gotta
race,
see
bro.
everything.
It's a turtle race.
And then what was the
Bet the people around me miss me. I wasn't focused and always open. Flow boats to get noticed.
Miss me when I wasn't always open, focused, and I don't really know if I'm ever talking about anybody directly in my life.
Yeah.
Because like people directly in my life are obviously super supportive. And really, you know.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about, you know, people who could quote unquote use me for an opportunity or like get music from me or art or whatever, like I feel like there was a point in my life where I didn't see my own worth as a creative individual. Right. So I would just kind of like lackadaisically go through and be like, oh, 200 for sure. Yeah. $50 for sure. And like it hit up, there was a wall where it was like, okay, nope. Like that's not happening anymore. Like I did covers for these people and I did a cover for this. Like I'm not. Nope. And I feel like I have gotten less, not like people coming to me for anything, but if I reach out to, say, someone that I'd talked to a few years ago, like, you don't get the same, you know, vibe and shit. And I'm not talking about anybody specific. I'm just saying, you know.
For sure. The next track, Reach, the confidence is shaky, but it's standing out. A lot of these, I mean, all of these is the ones that I'm mentioning, just stood out with me because I can heavily relate to them. Yeah. So, break that one down for me.
Shit, man. I mean, I am slowly, like, really getting behind myself. Yeah. Like, even making those first few songs, I don't feel like I was at a point where I was like, I got this. Yeah. And I feel like, something I have to do in my own music is I have to kind of, like, it's almost like I have to remind myself that, like, you know, what I'm doing is enough. Like, I'm doing fine. Like, I have a reason to have confidence. I have a reason to say that I have credentials in certain things in the creative, you know, space. So trying to, like, I think, obviously tell people that, but also mostly for me to just be like, yo, like, relax. You can be confident and it can be a little off kilter. You'll be okay. Like, you don't need to have it like stone cold 100% all the time. Like nobody does, and if they do, they're lying.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. Yeah, and that track was Reach off the project. The next one is Team featuring Eddie Branch. I just the got some homies I don't have anymore. Yeah, bro. That one is heavy just because
And that comes from
You keep trucking along, and then like you're so focused, and you got your blinders on, and then when you get to a checkpoint in life, and you kind of take those blinders off and kind of look around and kind of look back, and it's like, damn, like it's a very bittersweet survivor's guilt-esque feeling when some of the people you would want nothing more in the world to be right alongside you, but certain circumstances occurred, and you just grow apart, and you start to align with different things in life as they align with their own paths. And adulting happens. Jobs kill dreams.
People give up too easy.
Yeah, people give up too easy, and it's unfortunate when you see their light brighter than they see their own light in the mirror. And
absolutely.
It's one of those things. It's just like you can't want it more than, or you can't want it more for them than they even want it for themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a very bittersweet feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, for that one too, it's like, I like what you said about the survivor's guilt thing. Because, I mean, I don't even think it's something I think about all the time.
Exactly.
I think it's something that, like, randomly hits me in the face one day, and I was like, oh, man, like, the homie I made music with for, like, 4 years is still back home.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, whatever. And also, like, I haven't lost a lot of homies, but I've lost, like, a couple,
Yeah.
And it's like, we didn't even get super tight, like, towards the end of his life and stuff, but at the same time, I know that, like, if he was here now, it would be a thing of like, hey man, how are you doing? Like, I heard this song. Oh, yo, you should listen to it. Like, it's just,
right.
I don't know. And then I feel like that goes for just friends who you fall apart with, or drift apart from anyway too. I liked what you said about like family happens and stuff. It's like, yeah, man, like, it's hard to accept that like we end up becoming our own individual people after spending so many years being like a group of like 4 or 5 or whatever it is. And then all of a sudden you peel off and you're like, oh shit. Yeah. And now we're 10 years later and you're like, holy fuck. Like there's a lot of shit that's just gone down or changed. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, so the next track I wanted to talk about is The Difference.
Yeah.
Heavy quote I liked was "Distance is good for the heart." Another quote was, "Hope they never see me out in a bad mood. I need some different pictures. Show that shit is just isn't sad tunes."
Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, the bounce on that beat. You produced that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, bruh. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, bro. That one is just, yeah. Start with "Distance is good for the heart."
Yeah. I feel like The Difference was kind of one of those songs where I was really, really talking about my life, honestly.
Yeah.
Just like, and I feel like that's one of those, a lot of times when I'm writing music, especially songs, I feel like I do write like, this is the present, past, future, right? A lot of times I try to stay in the present also, because like my memory's kind of shit. So like there are a lot of times where like I don't want to write about something, especially if it involves another person and then fuck it up, get it wrong, whatever.
Right.
But if it's something that I know I can like talk about, it's fine. Which is like The Difference was literally like start to finish. Like the Distance is good for the heart one was specifically about me and my fiance, Brittany. I love you.
Yeah.
And we have been together. It'll be 11 years in November. Yeah. And I tell people this every time though. Like it was not without the fucking hella struggles.
Oh,
like, and like the Distance is good for the heart part was we spent time apart. Like it wasn't like we were like good all the way. Yep. It was a lot of hard work, and she's put up with so much bullshit and so much just like change and so much of me like maybe not like being present because I'm doing this or doing that. Like, and she's always so supportive and stuff. And we've gotten to that point where like where we look back on it now and it's like, damn, like if we didn't have the distance in between each other, like it wouldn't be what it is now. Like we had to go through all those things. And that specific line was literally about like that kind of stuff where it's like looking back and being like, holy shit, like had I not either separated myself or like chose a different path for a while, like things would not pan out the way they are now.
Right. So. And I just did the episode right before this with Sabrina, sitting down with her. And one thing I didn't really like talk on was that you'll get so many years in with your partner and it's not even like a settling thing, but it's just like you get to a certain point and it's like, yo, whatever we have that's going like between us, like we gotta figure this shit out for the sake of like us. And it's not necessarily holding on to our like past and what we had and shit like that, but it's like you get to a certain point, you realize the pool of women out there, or just it's just like what you've built is too good to let go. And it's almost like,
it's so
why
unique.
even? It's like, why even? Like nobody out there is gonna know you more. So it's just like,
not to mention,
let's just figure this shit out. Like
all the time too. Like, and I don't want to like pin it on that, right? I don't want to pin it on like, oh, I don't want to waste my time. It's not like that. It's
exactly.
like I put so much effort and so much like of my like life and my feelings and my love and my blood and my sweat and my tears, like, you know, like on both sides. And it's like, I feel like if you guys can, like, as a couple, whatever the couple is, it doesn't matter. If you can like go through things and like maybe y'all fight, maybe y'all fucking just whatever, you don't talk, you talk way too much or whatever, you scream a lot. If you can get to a point where it's like, oh, these things we used to do were not healthy. Right. We can do these things to change this, this, and this. Right. That will make it healthy.
Exactly.
And then take those things and like keep building on it to create a stronger relationship. Like, dude, there's no reason to go out and run around like that.
Yeah, there's not, bro. It's dead. And it's like let's just keep pushing forward. The me that I am, you might not like to the fullest, but like, stick around. You might love the me in a year.
And dude,
once I find something or like start bettering myself in some other way, like, and vice versa, like you gotta sometimes just stick around. Like, things will change. Like, sometimes for the worse, sometimes for the better. But 9 times out of 10, it's usually gonna be better if you guys are at least working on yourselves. And obviously, it's not physical abuse and like
100%. It's got to be like a healthy, you know,
exactly. Like everybody has some shit to work on, but exactly.
But and you know too, it's like I feel like it gets more and more special. Yeah, the more you work on things. Like, dude, I remember when we kind of like took that first, because I feel like you don't ever like mid argument, you're never like, oh, that was healthy, right? You know what I'm saying? You don't ever do that shit. But shit, we've gone back and been like, dang, like, remember how we used to handle this issue? Look what we just did now. Like, that's crazy. And I don't know, man, that type of stuff has made me fall in love with that girl so much more. Like, every moment, you know, it's just, and also, you know, I should say too, like you were saying about, you know, stuff to work on. Like, I was not like a cool partner in the beginning. Like, I'd like to think that I'm better now, of course. But, you know, I was just irresponsible, dude, and I wasn't like good with money and just like making stupid decisions about things. And honestly, she did what she should have and was like, yo, like, I'm not like, you need to be an adult here. Like, we are adults. It's time to be adults. And it's just, if I didn't have someone to push me like that, I don't really know what I'd do. So.
And I think that is the necessary force in the equation is the friction. Like, you got to have the friction, and you got to have, there's no yin without the yang. You got to have an opposing force.
I also, go ahead. No,
I was just going to wrap it up and say, like, that is just the elements for growth. Yeah. Like, friction and opposing force that's going to allow movement.
Yeah. I guess I shouldn't speak on like what the culture for dating is now or anything, but like, I remember when I was in high school, like, if you had a girlfriend like call you while your homies were around and she like said some shit or whatever, they'd like make fun of you or make fun of the situation, you know. But like, personally, like, I don't know, I think that's great. I think it's really cool of a partner to, like, if it's for positive reasons, of course, not you just like trying to control the other person. Right. But I mean, you know, if you're genuinely like, hey, like, I want you to be doing these things more because like it's the adult thing, it would benefit the relationship. Like, I think that kind of stuff is good because 100%. I think we as human beings in general are told like maybe that like things are cool way too often. Yeah. Or like maybe we just don't want to recognize some of the shit that we do, you know, which is fine. I know it's hard. Like, it's not fun to talk about, but I think if you have a person in your life that's willing to do that for you, like, you gotta keep that. You gotta keep
it,
that, man.
They don't make them like that no more.
Right. Bro. I agree.
So the other part of the difference was hope they never see me out in a bad mood. I need some different pictures so the shit just ain't sad tunes.
Yeah, I hope that I am never in public and I just snap on some shit. Like I don't know if I have. I hope I haven't.
Yeah.
But I hope that especially in a setting where I'm like representing the Flannel Lewis name, you know what I'm saying? Like I hope as like a rapper, like I'm never seen in public and just like being a dick for no reason or whatever.
Right.
And then need some different pictures, show the shit ain't just sad tunes. I feel like I just give off a vibe that I'm sad.
I feel that.
My music sounds kind of sad and like things are kind of sad. And I think I also like, I don't take enough effort to like present I don't want to say life, but like present my musical life, right, on social media or whatever.
Right.
And I think that just kind of gives, like I said, that vibe that like, dang, he's kind of sad. He's a little bit of a shut-in. Like, I'm not like that. I stay in my house a lot. Don't get me wrong, but I'm super bubbly and fucking open. Like, so I think that for me was kind of just like thinking like, dang, like I've spent so much time like just like doing the shit I do, which is totally fine. But I would love it if people also understood that I'm not just like a hermit, like who makes beats in a dungeon.
Exactly.
You can't see me, like you know. So that was that line, yeah.
So which leads me. So we skipping. What do we go over? Yeah, don't wait on me. So plot armor. Funny enough, the perfect quote to follow that up is, "I cherish when I'm feeling well. It's heavy when you're heading off."
Yeah. I cherish my health. Like I worry about that more than anything else. I could give a shit about the music at the end of the day. If I'm like not healthy, it's not cool. I'm not okay. I don't function well. Like, so, and it's kind of a dumb like contradiction, because like I don't take care of myself as well as I should, you know? I'm just a dude, whatever.
Right.
But I really, really do care about like my health. I care about the people around me and their health. And it's heavy when you head it off. Again, kind of another thing where it's like just realizing like people just fucking leave, bro. Whether it's like death or life stuff or y'all just literally move away or whatever. Like people just don't stick around all the time. And I feel like that'll never not be heavy for me.
Right.
That'll never, like, there'll never be a time in my life where I get to a point where I'm like, oh, I'm chill. Like, I know that I just can't accept it. I understand that that's life and whatever, but it's hard for me to accept it. So I think that was one of those things where it's like, yeah, man, it's always going to be heavy when anybody goes.
Yeah. Smooth. All right, man. That is House 95. I thought it was extremely important to talk about that album, bro. Just to shed light just on that project, bro. That is a beautifully crafted project.
Thank you.
You're an artisan, bro.
Thank you, bro.
You're artisan, bro.
Thank you, bro.
You can hear it in the frequencies. You can hear it in the project. You can hear it in the music. I can tell you truly care about what you're making, and you're making the shit that you truly care about.
Thanks. I try.
So you guys go stream House 95, Flannel Lewis. We'll put a link below where you can find him and where you can play the album. All right, man. Let's get into segment 1.
Yeah.
Background and early influences, bro.
Yeah.
Share a bit about your upbringing, how it influenced your musical journey, bro.
Sure. I mean, I was brought up by a bluegrass guitar player.
Yeah, crazy.
So, and I have like pictures of being at shows at the age of like 3. Like I was little as fuck.
Crazy.
And I'm like, my dad's like got his guitar and there's like all these pedal boards and we're like squatting, like looking at stuff. It's tight. I love that picture.
That's nuts, bro. That's nuts.
Yeah. So, but yeah, my dad played guitar and he's also a singer. He's like been the front man of a bunch of bands and shit.
It's crazy, right?
He taught me pretty much everything as far as like any kind of general music knowledge that you first get when you start. That was like totally my dad.
Yeah.
My mom sings. She likes to act like she doesn't, but my mom sings and she sings well. She's just anytime you ask her, she's like, no.
Yeah, real modest.
So yeah. Huh. But yeah, dad was always, my parents are separated, so I spent most of my time with my dad, and my dad was always super supportive of any kind of music venture that I had, really at all.
That's what's up.
He helped me get my first guitar and like taught me, chords and stuff, and whatever. Obviously, like coming up to that point, I had been learning on his guitar. So, like I knew how to play, but like he helped me get my first one. And then it's so funny. I don't know how many people know about this. I like didn't ever, like in high school and stuff, like hip hop was not, I just wasn't making hip hop.
Yeah.
I was making like post-hardcore and like screamo music.
Which again, it just like we have a very unique background here. Like, Dad was a bluegrass player. You playing, screamo, borderline, and then it's just like you a rapper, like
and fuck, But so I was gonna mention this earlier when we were talking about the unique space that we come from. Anybody who's not from Nebraska watching this, like we come from a place where they deliberately try to push hip hop away from venue spaces.
Oh yeah.
Like they purposefully try to not let us in shows. They purposely try to not let us play certain bars.
97% of shows here are bands.
Yeah, yep. There's one bar that I know that I play at all the time, and it's Duffy's.
Yeah.
Shout out Duffy.
And if you're not pretty like established or like do somewhat well for yourself as an artist in Nebraska, like you'll either not be on the show or you'll be the token on the show. And it's just like, I can't tell you how many shows I performed at in Nebraska where I'm performing in front of a crowd that came to see the bands. And it's like,
you're just like, they're waiting for you to be done.
Yeah, quite literally. And I can't tell you how much of a parasitic feeling when it comes to the energy when you're on stage and it's like you're wanting the crowd to rock with you and it's like you're just looking at the crowd and you have to maintain your energy, but it's just like nobody's reciprocating it back. Like,
okay,
bruh,
I gotta put I don't remember the band's names and I don't know any of the people that were at the show, but we played this show at this little hole in the wall venue here in town. It was a little newer. I'm not trying to call anybody out, but this is some bullshit. We played with 3 like thrash metal bands, like hardcore fucking bands, right? Was that Kill Us Online? Might have been there actually. That might have been when we played with them, and they're fire. If you guys know or don't know Kill Us Online, go listen to them. They're fucking great.
Say less.
But what was crazy? So we start totally fine.
Yeah,
and it's not a huge area, so there were like, and there was a fair amount of people, but like it filled up pretty quick. But I like knew the show I was going into, so I was like on the mic in front of people's faces, like, you guys better fucking move. Like, I know what show we're at, I know what venue we're at. Like, you guys better move. And literally, I was like screaming in people's faces, like jumping up and down, bro. Just like I was going off. You see, I don't know if you ever seen Quiet Play, but when Quiet plays, bro, we go nuts.
I bet.
Like we go fucking nuts, and no one was moving, bro. Damn. No one moved a fucking muscle.
Shit's so discouraging.
And then the moment we stop and that thrash metal band comes on, it's like everybody's fucking alive or something. And I'm like, okay, like, come on.
Shit's so discouraging as a rap artist. And that's the other thing, bro. As rap artists in Nebraska, man.
I talked about this with my friend Riss. Shout out Riss. She's got an album coming soon.
Oh, yeah, EP, for sure. Yeah.
But, it's just like, it's very discouraging for an artist to be like, this is the genre I really want because all of my favorites do this. This is what I want to do. And then you're like, cool, well, here's the town I live in. And the town you live in doesn't give a fuck about the genre that you play.
Not at all.
Like, actively try to get it away from things, actually.
Honestly, we don't even, it's...
But yeah, so, back to the whole thing. Sorry for the tangent.
Yeah.
Tons of post-hardcore screamo stuff. Dad was super supportive of that. We did actually. There's an EP. I would love it if somebody could tag me in something if they find it. I'm not going to tell you what the name is, but there's an EP out there of like a whole 5 songs of stuff that I did with my buddy Cam and a couple of our other homies. Garrett and Corey were in there too, and it's just that Dad was super supportive of that. Whatever, and then I got out of high school, and I don't know, like. I'm sure, I don't know if you got questions about like inspirations and stuff when you're...
Yeah, okay. I got a couple.
Okay, well, we'll kind of touch on that.
Yeah, that's why I have these general questions and like, wherever we go is wherever we go. Okay, but I just like to have a little bit of structure in case
that's great.
We reach any dead spots. But.
I was not like inspired by the typical rappers that everybody else was inspired by.
Yeah. Well, can I ask before you answer, when did rap become on your radar as something like
the
you started listening
2012, like the year before I graduated.
Okay.
Crazy shit. I graduate, Wolf drops.
Okay. Okay.
And I had been, there was a moment in high school where I was like, wow, Yonkers is ass. I don't fuck with it. Yeah. And then right before I graduated, I was like, this is like the craziest fucking, I've never heard something like this. Yeah. And I guess, mind you, too, before I got into Tyler, I was listening to, so I used to do a bunch of art stuff. I still do a bunch of art stuff, but I was like really heavy in art before I was really doing music a lot. And I was really obsessed with doing album covers. And listening to a bunch of heavy metal stuff, there was always really awesome album covers and shit. Well, this one band called In Flames, this was like one of the first CDs my dad, like, that I think I bought myself. Yeah. He like took me to Hastings in Norfolk and was like, hey, you can get something. I was like, all right, bet. And it was In Flames, A Sense of Purpose. Okay. And the album art was done by this guy named Alex Pardee, super amazing artist. And then through Alex Pardee's art, I found this rapper named Cage. And then I found this rapper named Aesop Rock. And then all these guys on like Definitive Juxt and stuff. And
damn, it's crazy.
And
a lot of that.
I know, yeah. And honestly, that it blew my whole mind open. It was like, it was just something that I was like, what the fuck? What the hell? Like, they were so present in all of the songs. And Tyler too is like, cause that was when Bastard was out. And I remember hearing Ass Milk with him and Earl and being like, that hilarious song title, but the song though, dude, I literally was just like, what the fuck? And you could hear them. They're young, dude. They're kids.
I'm about to go look.
And I was like, you can make this music? Like, you can do shit like that? What the fuck? So I got like super into like, I guess like alt rap. I don't know, whatever. And that's kind of like how that started. But that was like right out of high school. And then, I moved to Lincoln and met all the guys and met you. And
so when did you put your first pen to pad? When did you make your first rap? And was it like when you put the pen to the pad, was it a decision that I'm going to be a rapper? Or like, I want to be a rapper? Or was it like, I wanted to just experiment with some shit? Like, how did that look like
I
for
think
you?
I wanted to be a producer first. I was definitely like I had a homie in Norfolk who really, really garnered my love for this.
All right.
And he actually lived in the same house that Brittany lived in.
Okay.
Like, he was her roommate.
Damn, all right.
Yeah, so I met her, and through her, I met him.
Oh.
Crazy, actually, how it works out. But he, like, showed, like, you got to remember, this is, like, super early in my understanding of hip-hop. Yeah. So, like, I don't have any form of knowledge, you know? Yeah. And he, like, shows me who MF Doom is. Okay. And he shows me, like, who Dilla is. Yeah. And then we hit, like, Knowledge and Madlib. All right. And I'm like, oh, my God. Like, and he starts telling me about like sampling, and like doing stuff with records and stuff, crazy shit. My uncle had passed away 10, 12 years prior. Yeah. Like, shit, it had to have only been like, maybe like a year or something after me and Brittany started dating. My aunt hit me up. Rest in peace, Aunt Louise. Yeah. My aunt hit me up and she was like, hey, like, I'm moving from my house. She was moving into a nursing home kind of thing. And she's like, obviously, I have a bunch of stuff to get rid of. Like, do you want any of these things from Uncle Walt? And I got like 400 records.
Damn. Vinyl?
Yeah.
All vinyl?
Yeah, all vinyl. And I got his old Sony record player and stuff.
Damn.
It was
that wasn't the one. Okay.
But yeah, and I remember, I can see the cover. It's this guy's face, and there's like yellow flames on it. Was it a Muddy Water? No, it wasn't Muddy Waters. I'll take a picture and send it to you and figure out who it is. But that was like the first time I made a beat. It was with a sample, and I remember just being like, it was ass. It was not a good beat, but the homie came in and he was like, did you make this? And I was like, yeah. Like, do you like it? And he was like, do you know? He's like, we have to write right now. And I was like, I don't write. Like, what do you mean? And he's like, you can do it. He's like, just try. And I remember it just being like, it's really just, it's obnoxious. It wasn't anything good. Yeah. It was super abstract as well. And yeah, that was the first time. And I remember we finished, and I think we filmed it. We filmed one of them.
Do you still have the footage?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. You can go
Man,
look
yeah,
for
a lot of
it. I'm
my,
not
a
gonna-
lot of yeah.
You can go look for
This
it.
is me too, bro. I have some OG. If y'all can go dig and find it, I got some shit on YouTube.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's some
I'm
stuff.
so happy that it is. Download that shit off of YouTube. Rip it off of YouTube, bro, and put it on a hard drive.
Okay, bet.
Yeah.
Make sure I have it. All right,
100%.
bet, yeah.
I just recently went back and did that for some of like the monumental videos that you post when like you're on.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, save them shits, bro.
Bet. All
Save
right,
them
bet.
shits.
Yeah.
Save
So
them shits.
I'll probably
Put them in a hard drive, bro. I'm
But
telling
yeah,
you, do that shit.
I was making beats off my phone.
Yeah.
With iMachine. You know,
This was in when?
2013.
Damn. I didn't even know they had that tech out.
And like, man, I feel like I was also in 2013, like really when I started making beats and stuff, I was still like making like heavier music. I was still trying to play with some homies, Bo, Seth, Colby, shout out. I was trying to play with all them, and like, you know, a lot of times we just got together and hung out and jammed, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then I don't really know how that stopped. I don't know if, I feel like maybe Bo moved because we did practice at his house. He was the drummer. And I feel like maybe he moved or something, or something happened. But we lost the space, and then I ended up moving to Lincoln from Norfolk. It's like 2 hours away.
Norfolk, okay.
So that's part of it too. But then,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay, let's talk about what was your first, I would say big break in music, but what was your first big break of music? And this doesn't even have to be financially.
Just anything.
Just anything that blew the light bulb off on the top of your head that was like, all right, I'm going to either make a career out of this, or like, I got something going in this direction. Yeah, what was it for you?
I won the Kenny Beats battle.
Gotcha.
That was the thing. Like,
Yeah, talk about that.
Shit, I don't know. Fuck.
Yeah,
Talked about it so many times.
I don't know. It was
Okay. 3 years ago, 4 years ago. This would have been right before COVID started.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I feel like this was when I was making the Magnificent Obsession.
Yep, and this was when all the awesome producers were like, "I'm gonna get a Twitch and make beats at my house."
Side note, bro, I know rest in peace to a lot of people that took tragedies and shit during COVID, but COVID was actually like one of the most like monumental, beautiful times. Bro, COVID was beautiful, bro. Like,
well, and like I make this joke all the time, but like all the awesome like animated movies that we're seeing, or like all that's COVID projects, bro. Like that, that's all COVID projects.
But it just goes to show what people can do when they don't have to go to work, or just like when they find time for themselves.
Yep.
And can create.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what I did, bro.
And that's what we did, I guess too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I how did I even find out about that guy? Fuck, I don't know. I don't know how I found his stream or anything.
Yeah.
And maybe I was just like looking up beat videos on YouTube, you know?
So when you were looking at beat videos on YouTube, was it how to make beats? It was just like beat competition. Like, what do you mean?
I love watching people make beats.
All right.
That's like so sick.
Yeah.
And it honestly like wasn't really that big back then. Like I feel like Count was doing a ton of stuff, and like Kalen Ellis was doing a ton of stuff like on Instagram and stuff. There weren't a lot of dudes on YouTube just like making beats or whatever.
It'd be like just live format, just like
and like obviously that was still, I don't know, not like early, but like I still was like trying to really gain a knowledge. Like I feel like there's a difference between being like, oh, I'm making beats and I'm trying to produce this song. So I feel like if I ever back then when I was like looking stuff up, it'd be like, how do I make my vocals sound better?
Yeah.
Like how do they not sound like ass? Like,
right.
Stuff like that. So I find Kenny that way and realize he's got a Discord.
Yeah.
And everybody, it must have been like as COVID was starting or something. Because everybody was like inside. Like everybody was like inside doing shit, you know? Yeah. And found out he had a Discord, found out that he started doing these things where he was like, we host a beat battle every week. If you win a beat battle, you win a crazy prize. And he like literally gives away like a fuck ton of money, bro.
Oh, for real?
Fuck.
Damn.
Bro, like was it like 20 grand for one of the like finalist battles?
Damn.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was a lot of money.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Damn,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Dude, so I'm like sick. I switch my fucking days around at work to match this dude's stream. I'm literally like, hey, I need Mondays and Fridays off. And I'm like, why? Like, what the fuck? Whatever. And I think I did the battles for like damn near a year.
For real?
Yeah, it was a minute. We were doing a lot of them, or at least like 6 months. Like it was a while. And I was like not placing. Like it was crazy as fuck. It was like 400 people at a time. Choosing beats, and then they have like the audience vote, and then it's the top 10, and that's how you make it. And so like 6 months of like doing them, never winning, never placing, and then JD Beck and Domi, which is crazy that it was those two on the episode that I had. They are at Kenny's studio. Kenny's like, "Hey, we're doing a beat battle today. JD Beck and Domi are going to be fucking guest judges. Yeah, sick." I make this hilarious beat with God, who is it? Is it Soulja Boy? Whatever he's saying, but he's talking about Dippin' Dots, bro. Hennessy and Dippin' Dots is what he said. That was it. Was literally him like snapping and rapping and just saying Hennessy and Dippin' Dots, and it was like whatever. And they're like, "Make a beat."
Wait, that was the
that
topic?
Was the
like
sample.
Everybody needs to make a beat out of that.
That was the sample.
Got you.
It was literally this dude just Hennessy and Dippin' Dots, ready for the club. Like it was ridiculous, and it was just like a video of him like filming himself. Oh yeah, like it wasn't a song. It was just a shitty audio sample. Made a beat, and it was kind of fucking crazy. And I still don't know how many people really realize this, but like I was saying earlier, it's a 1 through 10 format, right?
All right,
and
like rate it.
Like at the finals, right?
Oh, gotcha.
So like beat battle happens, you have an hour to make the beat. There's like 20 to 30 minutes of like the Twitch audience will go to a website that you submit your beat to, and they vote on what beat they think is the best, and what should be in the top 10.
All right.
And then Kenny and his judge will judge the top 10.
Got you. Okay, so these I don't gotta flip through all that.
Right, exactly. Cool. So top 10 goes up, and we can see it as soon as it he posts it. And I was like, me and Britt's like cleaning. I'm sitting in my living room. I'm watching this. I just finished making the beat. I'm watching like the after, and I see my name is like number 11 it was number 12. And I was like, was it 11? No, it was 12. It was 12. All right. It was 12. And I was like, that's the closest. I showed Britt. I was like, you fucking see that? And I was just hyped. I was I don't give a fuck that I didn't win. I almost placed.
All right.
One dude had already submitted, gets booted. Another dude deleted his track.
Why?
It just wasn't there. Heck, he went to go. The stream's still up there. You can look. Like Kenny's like, what the fuck? Like your beat's not there. Like, okay, cool. So it's like 1, 2's gone, 3's gone, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I was like, what? I was like, Brittany, I'm in the finals. And she goes, what? You are fucking not. And I showed her whatever. And they played through the beats. Honestly, I did not think my beat was the best beat. I feel like my beat was the most, maybe like.
God damn. Oh, I didn't see you guys there. This commercial is brought to you by Honest and Sweet, one of the most authentic at-home bakeries there is out there. They hyper-focus on your health through clean ingredients. In fact, these treats are organic, plant-based, gluten-free, dairy-free, paleo, vegan, and most importantly, refined sugar-free, so you can treat yourself without guilt and a sugar crash. As a plant-based eater like myself, I can finally indulge in pastries and treats that will not cost me my health, and you all deserve that luxury as well. So go visit honestandsweet.com and place your order today. Oh, one last thing. If you use the discount code CCConvo10, you get 10% off. That one's on me. Big plant-based. Now let's get back to the episode.
I don't know. It was a little different. Like, and it had an A and B section, so that was cool. Right. But it was so funny. They were.
Do they sit there and play the whole?
Yeah, how long they do. I think they do 1 minute. 1 minute.
Okay, 1 minute. All right, damn. All right.
Yep.
All right.
And it was so funny because Domi is like, I wonder if they've ever heard of a B section, and she's like at like track 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And they get to mine and they finish it, and she goes, "Oh, he did it. He played multiple parts. Like that's fucking great." And JD is like, "Can you play the first beat?" And Kenny plays the first beat, and JD goes, "Oh nah, the last one's in first place." And I just like won. And it just like happened. Yeah, it literally just happened. And I started screaming and freaking out, whatever.
Yeah.
And one of his Twitch mods or Discord mods, whatever, hits me up. Yo, he's like, "Hey, congratulations on winning. I need your address because we're going to send you your prize," which was like a Voclia mic. It's like whatever. It's a mic. Whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Also, he's like, I can't guarantee that Kenny will play it on stream. He's like, but if you make a beat video or like a beat breakdown and then you send it to me, I'll send it to Kenny.
Yeah.
And then, you know, maybe he'll play it on stream. And,
okay.
And almost always with his battle winners who do that, he does play them on stream like later in the evening. So I made one. He plays it like, I think it's like a day or two later. He plays it on stream. And he gets to a part where it's like, I say something and I'm like, oh, I only have 8 tracks. I'm using Ableton Live Lite, like the demo version. I don't have enough money to get it right now. I'm trying, but not quite. Yeah. And Kenny pauses it and he goes, won the beat battle with 8 tracks. And then he's like, hang on a second. And he like gets on his phone and he got me a full Ableton Suite license for free. Yeah, and they like announced it like on the stream and stuff. It was really, really cool.
Hold on, let's take a second. Shout out Kenny Beats.
Shout out Kenny Beats, bro.
Shout out Kenny Beats, bro. That is beautiful.
I try to talk him up as much as I can. Yeah. Anytime somebody says something about like we talk about like the beat battle that I won, that's the first thing I say. That man's 1, he's a genius. 2, he's so fucking generous. Like he didn't.
That's beautiful.
He didn't have to do that, and Ableton doesn't do that. Like they don't give out licenses and codes and stuff per what he was saying. So I don't know. Shout out Kenny. I hope you see this, bro.
Man. Yeah, shout out. No, we're gonna post this clip. Yeah. Damn, that's what's up.
Yeah,
that's what's up, man.
But yeah, that was like the moment where I was like, oh, sick. I could do something now.
Cool. All right. I want to get into talking about that dynamic between being a producer and an artist.
Yeah.
So tell our viewers what it looks like when you're creating a song. Are you starting with a beat? You got some shit already written? Do you write some shit with a tempo or a general skeleton of a beat in your head that you have not made yet that you know you're going to like? What does that look like?
I think when it comes to writing and like beats, like those two things, I feel like it could go anyway. Yeah. Don't Wait on Me was like an entire paragraph of a verse, and then I made the beat.
Okay.
Because I think I said that backwards earlier. I'm pretty sure that beat came actually before the verse did, or after the verse did. Excuse me.
Gotcha.
The verse came first.
Okay.
Yeah, because then I made the beat. Whatever. Okay. But so yeah, I feel like it can kind of go anyway. Lately, I feel like it comes beat first, just because like.
Okay.
I just make whatever. Like, I don't care. I'll just make whatever. And if like, I feel like I've gotten to a point where I'm not forcing a verse on every song anymore because like it's not doing the verse any service. It's not doing the beat any service. Like it's not, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Okay, next one. Like it's fine.
Got you.
So lately it's been like make a beat, and if I'm feeling the vibe, the words come like that. Like I feel like it just kind of happens. Yeah. I'm sure you can kind of attest to that. If it's if it's a beat that all of a sudden you're just like vibing to, and you're like, oh man, like fucking with this, it just like kind of happens. But no, there are definitely times where it's like, I want to say this specific line.
Yeah.
Okay, determine hook or verse or whatever. Sweet, try and kind of block that out, and then I'll try to like build a beat around. Yeah. I feel like that process sometimes goes a little slower because I feel like that's when you can kind of be a little more deliberate with your words.
Okay. Yeah.
And then also like say you have a punchline, right? And you want your beat to cut out there. You want something to happen in that point. Like I feel like you can kind of like plan for that stuff a little bit easier. Whereas like, when we do sessions, if I have something that I want to do, I'm going to cut the beat. Like here's the beat. I'm just going to cut this snippet out, do this, which is fine. It still works. I just feel like sometimes when you do it the other way, you get a little more control. It just takes longer. Yeah.
For sure. Who do you enjoy collaborating? I would hate to say more or less, but do you find yourself collaborating more, or do you find the experience more fruitful when you're collaborating with artists, or do you collaborate with other producers often?
No, yeah. The collaborating with other producers, I feel like, has been more of a newer thing. Like me and Anwar Cook It Up, he's probably like one of the first, because like.
Shout out Anwar.
Yeah, shout out Anwar. I'm not counting counting the boys in Quiet because like just because like I'm in a band with them. Like it's a little different. But I will say like Carco's been coming over like by himself, and me and him will make beats. And it's honestly sick as fuck to make beats with another person because bouncing ideas off is it's so fun. That shit is so fun. And then when it comes to rapping, like writing and stuff, that can go both ways. If I'm trying to like bar up and like be serious about something, or like have a serious topic, maybe alone would be a bit better, just because like I can like get in my head about it or whatever. But there's also like the other side of the coin with that, where when I'm with the boys in quiet, like I get amped. Like listening to Kevin and Kark and Perp like write, and then we always do it where like we'll have the beat play and we'll all sit around a table essentially and just like write like whatever. And then first person that gets to a point, somebody will be like start spitting. And usually for me, if
start
I
rapping
like,
out loud.
oh man, just
it
start.
Reminds me of some back in the day shit.
And man, there are some times where like if Kev says something, bro, like I'm just like, I gotta say some shit too. Like, exactly. But it's the same with you though.
Yeah.
Where it's like we get in the studio and I don't even have a thought. Like I'm coming there today specifically to make beats. Like I wasn't even like in the mindset to like write or nothing. And then you'll start rapping and I'm like, man, what the fuck?
I
wasn't even trying to do none of this today. Like what the fuck? So,
man, and still to this day, man, I told Flannel all this stuff, bro. Look, I've been on tracks with several artists, artists that I think highly of. I've been in studio sessions with artists I think highly of. Flannel has the most unique cadence and delivery that I just can't like. So one thing that I do when I do featured songs with other artists, one thing I really do enjoy doing, and you could say it's in the sense of biting them, but like I really do enjoy, one thing I really do enjoy about collaborating or featuring with other artists, because it's one of the first times that I get outside of my own environment and world that I create in.
Yep.
And I'm collaborating with somebody, so I'm joined by a different gravitational pull. And I always find myself mirroring their cadences or nuances, and then obviously bringing HAKIM to the table with it. I very much enjoy doing that because it's something different outside of my own. It's like bring a different HAKIM out of me,
and you can take it back to your own stuff.
Yeah, and exactly. So it's like, man, there was a studio session with Flannel. I still can't remember the song, but like the verse is probably still finishing empty. Flannel spit me his verse inside the studio session, and I'm supposed to follow up with a verse, and I'm trying to like kind of recreate his cadence that he had.
Remember that.
And I remember like just kind of sitting there kind of dumbfounded, and this has never, ever happened. And I don't know if it'll ever happen anymore now that but it's not saying that this was like 5 years ago.
Right. It's like 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I couldn't finish the verse. I have never in my life had a problem with not finishing a verse on the spot.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I put the pen down. I'm still flabbergasted. I'm baffled. It was beyond me. I'm like, I had to kind of look myself in the mirror like, bro, what's wrong with you? Like, has such a unique, it's funny because when I sat down with Anwar, another thing that I like about Anwar, and I told him like, this is not to mock you or anything, but like when I just think of like highly intelligent people, and in terms of like engineering or shit like this, I have to pull out like my little nerdy voice because it's just how my brain interprets it.
Yeah.
So it's like Flannel, like, oh yeah, like, he'll just like say a rapper like, yeah, they rap in like eighths of the beat, and like I don't fucking know that shit. Like when producers say like, yeah, the beat hits on the eighth, or like, bro, like don't tell me that. Just tell me the time marker it hits on. Is it coming at 13 seconds? Like, because you tell me anything a quarter of a beat, fourth, thirds, and shit like that, bro, I'm just not gonna get it. But like the way, I don't know, we need some Scientology behind how Flannel raps and shit. I couldn't. I got lost in the sauce. I got lost in the sauce. Like I was trying to emulate the cadence, and like I just couldn't figure out how he was like Flannel Lewis. Flannel Lewis, dog. Flannel Lewis. Yeah. Where do you find inspiration from your music? Does it come from personal experiences, current events, or like other artists, or just?
It's such a corny answer, but I'm just gonna say everywhere, just because like whatever.
Yeah.
But also though, I think, especially lately, like you can hear when someone's soul is in a song.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see when someone's soul is in a piece.
Yep.
I think I just think that type of stuff it's so important, especially nowadays. AI is getting huge.
Yeah.
We all know that they can make anything. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't care.
It's
I've gotten to a point too with that where it's like, whatever. Who gives a fuck?
Yep.
But with music, especially, like, I'm just gonna go back to Kenny, just because like he's a huge source of inspiration for me for obviously multiple reasons. But like, man, if you haven't listened to Louis, like, you need to go listen to Louis, because that album, it's just, man, you can hear his fucking feelings in it. If I can hear your feelings in an album and you don't say a word on that album, because he's just an instrumentalist, he's just a producer. Okay. He doesn't rap, he doesn't sing, none of that. I mean, I think he maybe does like background vocals for his beats or something, but whatever. And that goes for any artist that can fuck, what is that song? I think is it Sampha? No, I sent it to you. It was that crazy. Like,
I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember what the fucking song is. Oh my god, that's gonna drive me nuts. I might look that up.
Yeah, I remember I bumped that shit. That I remember. I love listening to new music or listening to music while doing dishes, bro. Like cooking. Like it's like such an intimate thing for me. Like, clear the kitchen. Damn. And that's really what a lot of House 95 was. Yeah. While working out and like running outside and like running my hills and shit. I started the morning with House 95. That's why I always say front door open. Like, I'm trying to say it in your fucking cadence. Like, the beat and everything. Like,
it's so funny that you like that so much, because every time I would do the front door open, I would literally, like, I remember when I recorded that for the first time, I stopped it and I was like, that is so fucking lame. I was like, this is some of the lamest shit. And obviously I finished it was fine, but like, damn,
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's just everywhere. I feel like if I can feel you as a person in your music or in your art or your video or like whatever, like, that's going to inspire me. Yep. And also I feel like when I see people getting hyped about their own shit, like that's why I love writing with Kev and everybody. Like, Kev will write bars. Yeah. And he'll say like a one line, and all three of us will be like, yo. And that, right, just like that one word. Yeah. Just acknowledging what he said, all of us, I literally get so amped by that shit. That type of stuff is it's so good. Yeah. It feels so good, especially when it comes to being creative. Because it's like, dang, you have no holds on your shit right now. You are being unequivocally you, and you're not letting anybody tell you otherwise. And that is why I like it so much.
Yeah. As an artist, how do you deal with it when it happens?
I feel like everybody's different. I also feel like every situation of writer's block is different. Yeah. I feel like sometimes I can just like, a little closer. Yeah. Okay. Yep, I feel like sometimes I can push through it. Yeah. And I can just like write some shit bars, and then I'll get the flow out, and then some good bars come, delete the old bad ones, replace them, and it's good.
Got you.
But then there are sometimes, like, actually, I just broke it the other day. Yeah. And it happens with making beats too, where I am just like, I don't like anything. I don't like how this sounds. I don't like this and that. And so it's the same thing. But so I was kind of having that issue, and I don't know, I made a beat the other day that I didn't really like. It was also something that I just like don't make. Yeah. Like different tempo, style, whatever. Yeah. And instantly I was like, oh shit, I'm good. I got it. So I feel like for me, I have to switch lanes. I gotta change something.
Got you.
Like,
feng shui.
Yeah. If I've hit a point where I'm like, ideas are just like not coming out, or I'm not liking anything, like I have to do something else. Or like, what is that? Like, the definition of insanity is like doing the same thing
over and over and expecting a different result.
Right. Yeah. So I can't keep doing that. Yeah. And then there are also times where I like have to be like say it's like happening a bunch just consistently. There are times where I have to be like, I can't make music right now. Like, I cannot. I need to stop because I get frustrated with music. So like, if I'm trying a bunch and like I do these 30-minute sessions where it's like timer 30 minutes, make a whole beat, sweet. If the 30 minutes ends and I don't have anything, like twice, like 2 times in a row, usually I have to be like, okay, tonight's not the night. Yeah. Totally fine. Put it down, let it go.
Come back.
Yeah, because like I feel like I also like cannot be hard on myself if I choose to take a break from something like that.
Got you.
I've learned that, at least like with myself and like my work ethic and my motivation to work with this kind of thing, creatively, if I'm like putting like a have to on it, like, oh, I have to get this done, oh, I have to make this beat, oh, I have to do, like, I don't want to. I start not wanting to. It becomes work. It becomes a job, and not a positive one. Yeah. So yeah, like 3 things, I guess. Either try to write through it, switch my footing up, or just like take a break. Usually.
Gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, writer's block is you ever put the pen down or just from producing or both, and it's been a little bit, and you started to question if you like still got it. Like,
yeah,
I still like
that's
write,
actually
bro.
so.
And then you come back and it's like,
what was I?
You better than before, and you like, bro. I'm that motherfucker,
I mean,
bro.
House 95 came out, and it wasn't that people didn't like it. I think people liked it. It was fine, but it was like I had just exercised myself. Yeah, you know. And I remember it was like a week after it dropped. Mm-hmm. I just turned 29, and I'm like trying to make music, and I'm trying to write all these songs. And I'm like, oh, I got to get these songs done. And I'm like, well, for what? One, I'm not doing anything at the moment. And 2, I was like, it was like I was like trying to match like the level of quality / fun / seriousness that I got from making House 95. Yeah. And I was like, that all came so organically. Mm-hmm. Like I cannot just like redo that right now. Yeah. So yeah, and like had to pull back. It was like a good month or 2 where I was still making beats, but I wasn't like in the mode of like, I'm going to write some shit. Like I'm going to do this. Yeah. And then Carco, that 2 months basically was like Carco had 2 blood clots in his leg. Oh. Yeah. So homie's like fucked up. Can't do much. So we were like, okay, like kind of like hiatus on it. Right. Me and Kev were working on some Maggie stuff, and you know, having him come over, I was just like, damn, okay, like trying to write, can't fucking write anything. Oh my God. And then just probably right after my roommate had moved out, so it would have been July 1st, technically. I like got some of my stuff set up in the basement, and I started like having a couple people over, and then I had you over that one time, and it honestly just like started coming back, and I was just like, oh shit, like I never would have thought to write this way, like so I think it's the same as what you said too, is like I fell out whatever, but when I came back I was like impressed with what I was choosing to say. Yeah. So yeah, you mentioned that you was 29, so are you 30 now? 29 this year. Yeah. So, I turned 29. Turned 29 this year. Yeah. I'm glad you touched on that, because as rap is considered a young man's sport. Yeah. I don't know why, though, because all of the greats are 40 and up. Yeah, 40 and up. Like 40 and up. I think it's from a sense of like, maybe that was true for the labels when you're breaking artists and things like that, but it's really not. The older that you get, you realize that you're more sharpened, you're more experienced, like you're seasoned. And I actually think it's definitely not a young man sport anymore, because in sports, age is the only inhibitor. Yeah. Because of your physical meat vessel. Mm-hmm. But in this rap shit, our mind is not aging. We're actually getting smarter financially, with business, like you said, artistically, more experienced. Yep. We grow into our skin, and we know more of like who we are, undeniably, and we know we're not chasing records, and we really are separate from the party. Yeah. And I don't want to speak ill on like the younger artists too, because I think that's kind of what it's the weirdness of it, right? Is like anybody can be an artist now. Yeah. And that's both visually, musically, anything. Anybody can do it. It's super easy to go onto YouTube and just like search up how to do this. Mm-hmm. And and I'm not saying that's a problem. Yeah. But like I feel like, just from my experience of meeting younger artists and I feel like I should say that I'm speaking specifically in hip hop, because for some reason, younger artists in like the band scenes and the other scene, they care. Yeah. They care about the craft. They care about their performance and the things and that, But like, I feel like a lot of younger rappers, I'm not calling anybody out, just you don't give a fuck. Yeah. You don't fucking care. Yeah. I'm sorry. If I go to another like show with people that's like, it's like a local show or whatever, and I hear you rapping over your fucking song again,
Karaoke.
I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
Karaoke.
I'm gonna lose my mind, dude. Yeah. And it's not that's not like that type of stuff. It's not positive for like our scene.
It's not healthy for the culture.
I don't think so.
For the environment of it.
And also I think it speaks to the laziness of your artistry.
Yeah.
Like
so it's like a confidence. Take them training wheels off.
Literally.
Take them training wheels off. A lot of y'all gonna stumble. Y'all gonna be.
Do you not remember the words? Are you afraid of what your voice sounds like? Like what's the and if you are, work on it. Figure it out.
Exactly.
I don't want to say that like, oh, I'm older and I'm better. Right. I just feel like I give a shit about certain things that make it important.
Yeah, and it hurts us when we see people come into our domain and water down and try to, not necessarily try to, but they don't even indirectly realize that you tainting and you watering down the juice.
Yeah, and and it's like, showing up to a show completely unprepared, like you show up to a show and you're a younger artist and you don't know how you're gonna perform it. Yeah, like you don't know how you're gonna play music through the speakers. You don't know like.
Something a lot of artists don't even think about. No flash drive, like, no sent you an email prior.
And I'm saying, I know that mistakes happen, and I know things 100%. Like that happen, but like, I've said this before, in our specific position, and I'm talking about like Nebraska hip hop artists, we live in a spot that they don't want us here. They don't want us to make hip hop. They don't want us to promote hip hop. They don't enjoy it. So when you have a younger hip hop artist who maybe doesn't care as much or just like maybe isn't as educated on how to perform a live show or how to do like how you should present yourself as like an artist or whatever, like if you leave a bad impression in the mouth of like the one venue that lets us play there, it's like one person speaks for everybody for some reason. I don't know why, but that's how it is, especially with venues. So if you start having like younger artists come in and they don't have equipment ready or and I don't feel like rapping over a song is going to make anybody not let someone play there. But like, certain things about those types of situations, like it reflects poorly on the whole scene. Definitely. Especially in our area. Definitely. So like that type of thing, I feel like is just a lack of thinking in that moment. Yep. Which like, I feel like comes with experience.
Yep. So. Yep. How do you see the music industry?
What?
In the sense of independence and labels and...
Oh, no, I just meant like what? Like, what do you... I just think that the label's a joke. Like, it's like, or labels, I think there's like the few probably that try to do right by their artists, right? Yeah. They try to do the best thing that they can. They try to... I think there are some records like labels out like that. Yeah. But, like, for one, you don't need a label anymore. Nah. You don't. Anymore. You don't. Not there's no reason. The music industry, like, I know it exists, but like, not in a space that people like you and me, and I mean like as in like where we're at in our level of artistry, that doesn't affect us. You are non-existent.
Truthfully.
To me.
Truthfully. And it's funny, I used to come from a space of like thinking like, or like waiting for the day I get on the radar, get picked up or signed. But it's just like being an entrepreneur and being a business, man, and being, I would like to think well-versed and seasoned in the world of entrepreneurship and just business. What can y'all offer me that I'm not offering for myself? Like, and that's another thing. I think we come from a place of like being homegrown in Nebraska, like, we don't come from a big city life to where we see the materialism in cars and jewelry and everything like that.
All the people
and jewelry and everything like that.
All the people.
And we, though the crab in the bucket, small city, thing does apply to us. But aside from that, we really have a organic nature about ourselves that we don't cling to things that we know that really don't belong to us, and we're not like chasing this image. Like, we're okay with just being this. Like,
honestly, like kind of tipping on the last one. Younger artists or not, I have yet to meet an artist here in Nebraska that's like, and I'm sure there are some. I'm sure for sure, but that's like, well, my main goal is to get signed. Yeah, like I haven't. And I think it's partially because of like where we're at, right? We're not in a space that is offered up to us directly. Yeah. And also, I do think that a lot of artists in Nebraska don't have it in their minds that that's why they're doing these things. I think a lot of people who do make music here are making music because they love it. Yeah. And because it's genuine to them. Yeah. They feel it. Yeah. And I don't think that has any bounds. Yeah. So I think that I agree with you very much. I don't want to even say that like Nebraska is a good place for hip hop. Right. I think it is a good place for your mental like upbringing. Yeah, it's a good place. Just like how it is a great place to start a family. Yeah. It is a great place to find yourself. Yeah. Yeah. It's a great place to find yourself. I will say too, you know, moving the small town that I lived in, I don't think was nearly as open and accessible. Yeah. You know, Lincoln, and I'm sure Omaha can probably vouch for this too. Yeah. Everybody's so accepting. There's a lot of people that are like of who you want to be and what you want to do. I feel like you'll probably be able to find someone that can like at least maybe help you get your mix to sound right, or help you with a better microphone, or like, oh, here's some tips on how to make this sound like, you know. And we also get to come from a place. It's so funny. We are in the hip hop scene, which is like notorious for like gatekeeping, and people don't want to give out secrets, and I don't want to help you do this because that hurts my position. Yeah. Everybody in Nebraska is like, oh, you need help? Like, I got you, bro. Like, I got you. Exactly. You know, I guess if you're a native, I don't really know how it is if you're not from here. But it's that small town neighborly, like, yeah. And while that may not be, like I said, good for music, I do think that's good for networking. I think it's good to build friendships and relationships of any kind, whether that be professional or just like I said, friendships. You know, I think yeah. I don't know why what are such tangent. But. Yeah. Now, what are the biggest pros and cons that you feel like you face as an independent artist? Pro right off the bat is obviously like flexibility / again accessibility to my own things. Right. Right. Because obviously we all know everybody hears the horror stories. Yep. Every artist. Who was that? They just talked about the whole Kendrick and Lil Wayne not getting the Super Bowl thing, and it was like because like Birdman like owned all this music or something. Yeah. Like, don't release albums. Like it's just it's a lot, man. Like I don't need people owning my shit. I would never put myself in a position to have to like even answer somebody about some shit that I created. Right. Like, it's my intellectual property. Honestly, nobody's like I feel like the only way I could ever even sign to a label, never been asked or anything, but if I, you know, would be like I'd need like full control all the time. I would need all the money all the time. Like there's no, because like what the fuck? I am not like contracted. Yeah. Well, I guess you are probably. Yeah. But like you're, I don't know, man. I'm a musician. I'm not a fucking employee of yours. I would exactly like, and I've always said this like because a lot of people always ask me like, hey bro, like you know, would you sign like or stay independent, bro? Like one thing that I'd probably orchestrate would probably be a distribution deal. Sure. Because one thing, the absolute only con that I can really think of is the machine. Having the machine behind you that can like put you in everybody's face. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the only. Yeah, that's probably about it. Other than that, like, there's nothing that whether it's an advance, which are loans essentially, and it's like nothing that a label can provide me would allow me to like be more at peace than I am already. Like when I heard, like I'm happy with like when I have. I came across a video once, and this was probably like last year, early this year. I came across this video where it was like, if you are releasing music on platforms of any kind, you shouldn't be releasing albums. And I was like, the fuck? And they were like, there's a reason. It's because if you sign to a label, and then they see that you have albums put out, they can base your like rate off of how much money was made from your previous albums. Oh, okay. Which like not shit. I just think that's so fucking weird. Like especially because like wait a minute, you're using stats essentially from a time when I had no backing. Right. I had no awareness or like, people were not aware of me. Exactly. I didn't have a foot in the door anywhere.
Yeah.
And you're using that as a
Yeah.
basis of what you should pay for me now that
Yep.
you've signed me. Like, I just couldn't. Fuck
Yeah.
that. That sounds insane.
Which, from a leveraging token, makes it pretty unfair. But it's hard to put a monetary value on potentiality, and because it's just like, all right, cool. Like, none of my albums were commercially successful or did numbers in y'all eyes.
Same.
And not that we even like focus like that, because we, again, how do you put a number on impact?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just like any dealings or anything, I know by this now, like, or I know artificial versus organic.
Yeah.
I can feel that in coming in a room, and it's just like, you would have to just truly believe in what I already have going on, and you would have to just really be an addition to that. But
oh, you have this idea?
Do it. Exactly.
Yeah.
And if y'all can help finance the creativity, but the infrastructure is already there for myself, like, y'all would just be
it's like a new car. You're still driving.
Yeah, I'm still driving that shit.
You still take care of everything.
Yeah,
you still all that shit,
yeah.
pay for all the shit. You guys just got me the new car.
Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna always be the vehicle and the person behind the wheel.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, I would be extremely keen on how I would orchestrate a deal with the label, but they know I've jumped. If you coming to me, y'all probably already studied me and watched me for a little bit, and y'all know I'm 100% about ownership.
Yep.
Yeah, there's not like, I wouldn't get necessarily giddy over $1 million if I knew what came with it. If I know the current circumstances that I'm in right now would be way less stressful.
Well,
I'm gonna take I'm gonna take my peace of mind and control and ownership over less ownership, less peace of mind, more workload, and more for. And that's where you really get down to selling your soul.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just like this ritual and altar, but selling your soul is anything.
Altering yourself,
altering yourself in exchange for monetary value, or just something that doesn't align with your original. Soul. I guess. Your original intentions with the purity of why you got in it and shit like that. When you're going against your morals, you're going against your code. In exchange for, any monetary any kind of success or any type of like gain that you thought it would probably be, you're selling your soul.
Mm-hmm. Not to mention too, like, age of technology, people don't got barriers.
Yeah,
like,
nah.
Like, do you know who Chappell Roan is? I don't listen to her a whole lot. She's like a new up and coming like pop artist. She's super big, whatever. But dude, she's only been famous for like a year, and she's like there have been videos of her being like, "Yo, I don't fuck with this. Like, people are not. You guys don't know who I am. Like, you don't need to act like I do. Like, the dude's, I don't know. Just hearing from it from like that standpoint too, it's like, damn, like, it would be probably pretty fucking scary if I ever got to that point. Like, if I ever got to a point where people are like outside my house or something, like, god damn.
And that's what I've been saying. Like, I'd be telling people, like, I don't want that level of fame.
No, there's no point.
I want freedom, peace, and stability. I don't give a fuck about fame.
Nope.
But I will say, if I can go in almost every like major music hub state wise, and I can do like, bro, even like, it sounds crazy, but even like a show that's in a venue that 500 is like a sellout, and I can go in any given state and like do 500 people come.
Solid.
That's solid. Like, cause I don't live a life that I need high maintenance. I don't have a car that I have a car note on. Like, I own my shit. So it's like, if I can go in that show, 500 people sell out at, I don't know, $30, $50 a ticket. I'm bringing merch like, bro, we eating.
Dude,
I'm eating. We eating, bro. Like, we good.
People are greedy too.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
You gotta like know when enough's enough.
Yeah, you gotta have that number, and it's just like, is this worth the other shit?
Don't get me wrong. We could go all day about hypotheticals and be like, if I won $1 million,
right.
But like, dude,
what would you do with it?
Even if I fucking did, I definitely would not just be like flaunting it. I wouldn't just be doing crazy shit. Like, for what?
It's how can I buy my time back?
Yep.
And
how can I make more time?
What's gonna make more time, and what's gonna alleviate me and set me free?
Yep. And the people around me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And the people
agree.
around me.
100%.
Yep.
What does success look like, and what does success mean to you? I liked what you said. I liked the freedom, the health,
and happiness. And I think also the ability to continue to grow.
Gotcha.
I think if I ever get to a point where I don't feel I can grow anymore, I'm not being successful in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Success, I guess, is money too. Money from this would always be nice.
Yeah.
Like, I don't ever want to think that, I'm not trying to be like that. Oh, I'm better than that. Nah, I totally take some cash for this shit.
Most definitely.
But it's not a necessity. Like, I think what is important is, like, if I can get to a point where it's like, I'm good, Britt's good, my family's good, the homies are good, I don't have to work. That would, what? Maybe that's success.
Yeah.
Is not working just a typical 9-to-5 job.
Yep.
I don't care about working.
Yeah.
But just like working for someone under another company, like that would be, not doing that would be success to me.
Yeah.
I'd
have to agree 100%. What advice can you give to emerging artists or artists that are kind of on the fence if they should kind of go down this path, go down this road? Any substantial amount of advice or gems that you can give some of our viewers today that would help them?
I think if you even have a thought to do it, you have to do it. I think if you are called upon by music to make music or art or anything creative, you have to take that chance and you have to do it.
Yeah.
I think as far as advice goes, you never know who's watching.
Yeah.
I know we talked about it a bit, it's like we live in Nebraska, people don't pay attention.
Yeah.
That's cool, but I've heard some stories and I can say that people pay the fuck attention.
Yeah.
There are dudes and there are people out there whose job is specifically to like look for people that have nothing and don't have that's
look, there's people out there looking for the next Kendrick, the next Jay. Like there's people out there searching, watching, and looking.
Especially with this new age of like shifting to more power to the artist and stuff. A lot of if that's your goal, that's your end goal, man. Like as a label or something, there are people out there looking.
Yep.
And don't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to get to where you want to go.
Yeah.
It would not be a fun journey at all if you got it right away. You wouldn't feel as good about the songs you make or the art you make if you didn't have a struggle of creation at some point.
Yeah.
So I think don't be too hard on yourself and just like keep making stuff.
Kind of goes alongside with a quote, life is going to be either hard now, easy later, easy now, hard later. That kind of ties into success. You either struggle and get it out the mud, if you will, and then through the process, you find your happy spot and you kind of realize what success looks like to you.
Yep.
Or you get success off rip and then you find out that that's not really what success is for you. And then you kind of spiral down or just, you end up finding yourself in a whole different way once all the layers and, once the facade and the mirage disintegrate and fade away.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I agree with that very much. Yeah.
Any upcoming projects, Flannel?
Quiet is always working on stuff.
Yeah.
We have some stuff coming out. Quiet on whatever. Find us on there. I'm trying to do more with, Nebraska artists in general.
Yeah.
Me and you have talked about it a lot, but like we've said multiple times, we don't, as especially hip hop artists, get a lot of open doors or like handouts or help.
Yeah.
I think there's a ton of different avenues for like hardcore musicians and even jazz artists. It's pretty big here. Like you can get paid a lot of money just playing gigs.
Venues.
But I don't have any specific projects. I'm trying to work on some new stuff as always. But I think one of my next things is like I want to produce an Eddie Branch tape really bad. I want to do more stuff with you, of course, and Anwar. Me and Anwar have plans to do some more like sound design stuff.
Yeah.
And then I do want to do a thing where if you're in Nebraska and you're making hip hop and you're making rap or whatever, and you need some beats or you want a session or you just like want to show somebody some stuff in person and like talk about it, hang out, like hit me up. Like I don't mind helping people who are from here. You know, not to say I wouldn't help anybody else, but like I'm trying to. I get awesome support from all of my fans. I don't. Sorry, that's so corny. For my fans, whatever. If I can give that back, you know, I'd love to. So that's definitely something. Anybody ever wants that kind of shit, hit me up.
Sure. What's one of the biggest lessons that you learned, or has kind of what's one of the biggest lessons that you now know in hindsight, looking back, that you wish you would have known earlier on?
Kind of what I said is that piece of advice is the not being so hard on myself. And I'm also going to throw in to not compare yourself to other people. You are not that person. You don't have those experiences. It's not your life. Those aren't your songs. It's never going to happen. I think that's also something I wish I would have gotten like pounded into my head early. Because I think, especially as a new artist, an emerging artist, especially if you're like fresh, you know, when you're making stuff, you do really like, you build off of who you're inspired by. You know, so like if you're inspired by Sir, like in the beginning, you kind of might sound like Sir. But like if you can learn how to, one, not compare yourself too much, because I think that kind of plays a role in what you make. Like if you compare yourself to this artist a lot, you're probably going to keep making songs like that artist. And then also, I don't know what else I was going to say. I just think that just don't be too hard on yourself and don't compare yourself to others, because it will only hinder your ability to grow as a creative person.
100%. Flannel, before we close out this episode number 6, what does it look like in the sense of legacy? What does it look like when Flannel is, the physical Flannel is no longer here on this earth, and the remembrance and the ripples of Flannel is left behind? What do you want, and what are you striving to have your legacy look like?
I want to be heard. I don't care in what capacity. Whether you're just hearing me surface level or you're hearing me and you feel the same way. Like that is something I think that plays a major part. And building off of like what I said about the Nebraska artist thing, I would love to be kind of like a Rick Rubin. You know what I mean? I can play stuff. Apparently he doesn't play anything. I don't fucking believe that. But
it's nuts.
I want to help other people out with music. I want to show people that like if you have a creative idea, you can probably get it done. And like also I want to be that guy that always tells people like, who gives a fuck if it's not good. Like I want to be known as that guy that like made everything that he wanted all the time. He felt all his shit and he felt other people's shit too. And I want it to be a thing of like, well, when he would say something, it just got me going. It got me, I was ready to cook. I was ready to write. I was ready to draw. Like whatever it is, that would be what I would love to leave behind. Just a list of, just like a pool of people that could be like, oh, but you know, if Flannel did this though, like he'd do it like this probably. And I don't mean that in a way where it's like, I want you to take my ideas. It's like I want my ideas to be seen as like so important that like you think about them when I'm not there.
Gotcha.
So
yeah. Flannel, before we leave, I got you obviously the gift.
I saw Anwar's and I was like, yeah,
bro. But you have the first long sleeve. The weather is starting.
Cool. Fuck yes.
The weather is starting to get hold that up, man. Let people know the
Look
thing.
at that. That's so fire, bro. I love this. This is great.
You got the first long sleeve, bro.
Awesome.
So I'm sure my next guest, or not the next one, but as it starts to get colder, the next guest will probably get blessed with a hoodie or something of that nature. But yeah, bro.
That's so fire.
Flannel, I appreciate you taking the time being on this podcast
Thank you so
today.
much.
Again, let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me. It's Flannel Lewis on pretty much everything. Flannelshouse.com. I got merch. It's dropped. Nobody knows about it, so a lot of people will find out this way. I'm trying to make a commercial for it.
Oh, shit. We'll get there. Go ahead.
So flannelshouse.com. Go get my fucking shit. And then follow HAKIM, man. This is one dude who does everything he does for the community and for the scene and for the culture out of the kindness of his heart.
Yeah.
There's nobody back here being like, oh, yo, you should do this. Like, hey, let's do this. Bro is setting up the cameras by himself. Bro is recording the audio by himself. Like, support this man. Like, this is somebody who cares about creativity and who cares about just being yourself. And that's important, especially like in the day and age, especially in the day and age we live in. So please, like, continue to support Hakim so he can continue to do big things like this, and he can continue
for Nebraska, for the coast,
and he can continue these types of things because they're important. So.
I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah.
I appreciate the flowers, man. This was episode 6 with the one and only Flannel Lewis. If you guys got any education, if you guys got anything out of this, please reciprocate the love, like, comment, subscribe. Go check out Flannel's album, House 95. Flannel also has 2 production credits on Primavera.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Just an amazing artist. Go reciprocate the love. Go play Flannel. Go follow him on social media. And go stream and support his shit. Again, I am Hakim, the illest in Nebraska. This is Corn Coast Conversations. This was episode 6 with Flannel Lewis.
Hell yeah.
We'll see you guys on the next episode. Yeah. We did it, bro.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
That is so fire.
Hell yeah, bro.
This is gas.
Yeah.
This
Definitely.
hard.
I made it myself, man.
You make them here, like at your house?
I'll be making them at the shop, in the garage. Yeah, in the back.